just how much is there left to say about the Dinobots? Well, it turns out quite a bit. Grimlock, leader of the Dinobots. Despite his anti-hero introduction to Generation 1, and thanks to the Dinobots' comic relief role in an otherwise dark and foreboding Transformers the movie in 1986, Grimlock and his crew would go on to be portrayed as much gentler and kid-friendly characters in the remainder of the American series. Grimlock was featured more in the third season than his fellow Dinobots, including an away mission with the new Autobot leader Rodimus Prime to the Decepticon refuge world of Char. And later in the Season 3 episode Grimlock's New Brain, an homage to Flowers for Algernon, Grimlock is bestowed with super intelligence, which he puts to use in the creation of the Technobot Combiner team. Grimlock sacrifices his new gift in order to bestow his super intelligence on them instead. Later, Grimlock and his fellow Dinobots would go on to be featured in the bizarre but beautifully animated episode, Call of the Primitives. Sludge. Despite this demolition dino's surly bio, and reputation for the lowest intelligence of the bunch, he tends to be the biggest sweetheart of the group in most other forms of Transformer media, including a romantic infatuation with reporter Jay Meadows in the pages of UK Marvel Comics. Although his teammates are featured in the Fall of Cybertron video game, Sludge remains mostly absent from the story. And another version of Sludge comes to a very untimely end in Machinima's Power of the Primes Combiner War series. This Sludge meets his fate at the hands of Overlord and Dark Rodimus. Cool series, just a little more disturbing than I was expecting. Slag was originally intended to be the team's flamethrower. However, early animation seems to have given his fire-breathing ability to all the Dinobots instead, making him the one I remember as having the most inconsistent head in animation, mostly thanks to the inconsistency between his G1 toy and his final animation model. He also has the distinction of a controversial name that needed to be changed. The word slag, coming from the waste product of smelted metal, had been used as a slang word in Beast Wars Transformers, but as it turns out in the UK, the word has a more negative connotation when referring to a woman.
I didn't become a little bit of a slag. I became a total slag.
And with that, I'd now like to apologize to all 4 of you that actually watch my channel. Sorry, ladies.
How dare you!
Later versions of the character would have to deal with a name change, particularly in Transformers animation, where the Triceratops had been named Snarl instead. Most other versions of the character would come to rest on the name Slug, referring to a punch or a bullet. IDW Comics would later depict him changing his name after RC explained its offensive meaning on Earth. And finally, back in the pages of UK Marvel Comics, this Dinobot would experience an uncontrollable rage every 4 million years, which occurred when they made it to Earth. This time, the Dinobots would struggle to keep his problem under control while Optimus Prime inspected the base. Writer Simon Furman would revisit this storyline in the pages of Transformers Regeneration 1. Stegosaurus Snarl, just like Swoop, was introduced later than the other 3 dinos, making their debut appearance in War of the Dinobots, where they went up against Grimlock and the others as they briefly took orders from Megatron himself. Exclusive UK Marvel Comics would see him get into all kinds of trouble, like going berserk and laying waste to a human military base. Later stories would see Snarl fall ill to the rust disease Corrodia gravis, during which time his mind was transferred to a real Stegosaurus from the Savage Lands until his own body could be cured. Many subsequent characters throughout Transformers history would keep his trademark alive by using his name. And at last we come to Swoop.
Good part, Cup! Tell Swoop good part!
Swoop, like Grimlock, is the only Dinobot to ever have their own featured episode in all of Generation 1. In the second half of Season 2's Desertion of the Dinobots, Swoop accompanies Spike and Carly as they explore Cybertron in search of the life-saving element, Cybertonium. It is my opinion that Swoop often displays the most intelligence of the group, however he can be quick to follow the crowd as well. And finally, Transformers Cyberverse brings us our most thoughtful iteration of the character to date, in the form of our first ever female version of Swoop. And with that, we're all back for another episode of Leo Watches Transformers. I hope you're having a good April and a happy spring, and I hope the weather's good wherever you are. Right now I'm looking out the window, and I want to get a walk in before the sun sets, but I do have time to watch 2 really good episodes of Transformers with some wonderful people here on the internet. So, without any further ado, this is Season 2, Episodes 37 and 38, Desertion of the Dinobots. We open on the testing of highly advanced technology. Everyone set your watch for the arrival of the Decepticons.
Very impressive, Professor Green.
The Autobots have saved this planet from the Decepticons many times. Now we might be able to return the favor.
In the ongoing battle between East and West Coast Rap, 2 nearby audio devices prove to be more than meets... well, you get the point. Hey, look, it's Ravage.
Ultra plane completed, Megatron.
I'll blast it to dust!
No! We must be more discreet.
Observing from afar, Megatron explains his method to a cynical Starscream, who in the end simply does as he's told.
Hey, what's going on back there?
Ironhide suddenly becomes aware of things that he clearly should have already known.
Just rocking and rolling with Savage Ravage.
Following orders, Starscream destroys the prototype aircraft.
Transform and roll out.
As the Autobots inspect the wreckage, Megatron seizes the moment to achieve his real goal.
Surrender the final blueprints and we will not hurt you.
Before the Decepticons can complete their mission, their overly complex distraction turns out to have 0 effect.
You're through now, Megatron.
Optimus Prime! Hey guys, how about some tunes?
And Jazz is playing that song. Again.
What's going on?
So the mighty Starscream is disabled by a little sound and light show. What?
Was that a better divers?
Mirage disarms Megatron, who simply escapes through the magic of editing.
Megatron is retreating.
So what else is new?
But wait, there's a twist.
I thought Megatron split. Amazing what you can do with a little hologram.
Which results in Megatron doing the exact thing his hologram just did. Wait, what? Elsewhere, Spike, Carly, and Bumblebee take advantage of discount tickets to Six Flags.
This is supposed to be fun?
You'll see, Bumblebee.
What did you do?
I switched off his equilibrium circuits.
After a day at the amusement park, the trio head to the airport, as we all like to do. After picking Sparkplug up from a trip that is never explained, our heroes learn that evil is afoot at the airport. And no, I'm not referring to ticket pricing, or that epic weighted baggage claim, am I right? Turns out they find a secret Decepticon base in an extremely public location, with heightened security, and the doors are wide open. These are all solid choices, Megatron. Back at Autobot base, Wheeljack decides to summon the Dinobots from their slave quarters. I know it's not what they meant, but it is kinda how it looks sometimes.
No like orders.
Me, Slag, no like anything.
We really need your help. Why won't you give us a hand?
Me don't know why not. So we help. This time.
I've got to work on their personality circuits.
It's been 2 years. What are you waiting for? The Dinobots move in to engage their enemies, resulting in excessive property damage.
Now, Skywarp! They're vulnerable in their robot modes! Fire!
Through a treacherous sneak attack, Megatron brings us to our first structured act break. Ooh, I hope we get some good toy commercials.
The Transformers will return after these messages. return to the Transformers.
We now return to Dino Carnage at the airport. Typical holiday travel.
So much for the mighty Dinobots!
An Autobot support team arrives to handle the damage and bring the dinos back to base for repairs. As repairs are underway, Ratchet gets zapped for touching Grimlock's no-no area.
Oh, we'd have a better chance if we didn't have to work with these primitive tools.
The tools on Cybertron were vastly superior.
Everything was better on Cybertron. I still feel a power surge when I think about home.
Back at the airport, our heroes engage in some infrastructure repairs that would make Dr. Seuss call bullshit.
A little this way. Now back a bit. Just a hair more.
I don't need your help. My precision is uncanny.
Being an arrogant twat, Grapple makes a complete fool of himself.
Tin canny is more like it.
Don't worry, Grapple. We all make mistakes.
Not me. Not like this.
Soon proves that Grapple is not the only one having difficulties functioning.
Rumble! What do you think you're doing?
Megatron, I can't stop myself!
I am going to get to the bottom of this!
Back at the Ark, repairs on the Dinobots are complete.
Good. Well, boys, we did it.
How are the Dinobots, Wheeljack?
They're all set to go.
Not a moment too soon. The Decepticons are on the rampage again.
No! Dinobots no go! Me, Grimlock, no take orders. Never!
And with that mic drop, the Dinobots have left the building.
But you love to fight.
Us fight when us want to. Now goodbye.
Perhaps that energon has disrupted our systems. Refuel now!
The Decepticons are attacked by arriving Autobots. Before long, both sides start glitching out hard.
It's the Autobot! The Autobot!
Too bad! He's blown his vocal components. I guess that makes me the new leader!
Does it, though?
Some liquid nitrogen will cool them off. Uh-oh, my hand won't retract.
Go ahead, leader. Do something.
If only to spite you!
As we come to our next act break, something tells me Megatron's gonna miss the shot. And now, toy commercials.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
To help them battle the evil Decepticons, you can imagine the Autobots create Dinobots.
Decepticons are attacking! Dinobots! Grimlock and Slag will stop Thundercracker.
Each sold separately.
More than meets the eye.
Transformer Dinobot Grimlock. Other Transformers sold separately from Hasbro.
We now return to the Transformers.
Goodbye, Optimus Prime!
We now return to obvious results, but this time the scripted formula is denied.
Retreat!
As their busted asses make it back to base, the Autobots are desperate for repairs.
I wish I could help you.
Shut up and save your energy, Wheeljack, or I'll have to turn off your power supply.
Even Optimus is out of sorts and needs to take a seat.
Any idea what's going on, Perceptor?
Fortunately, I am stuck in microscope mode, and I think I have deduced the problem.
After millions of years of being exposed to Earth's atmosphere, an element that's essential to our mechanical operation is deteriorating.
Then we must replace it.
If only we could. The element is Cybertonium, and it doesn't exist on Earth.
But wait, there's more.
Prime, we just intercepted a transmission. Shockwave is sending a shipment of something called,
Cybertonium. He's sending it to Earth over the space bridge. That mean anything to you?
Everything, Carly. Everything.
At last, Carly realizes what everyone else should have realized hours ago.
Wheeljack, the Dinobots don't have any Cybertonium in them, do they?
That's true. They should still be operating at full strength.
They could go to the space bridge and intercept the Cybertonium.
Great idea, if they'll cooperate.
Well, it's always something. Our human allies track down the Dinobots in order to plead for their help.
You follow us. Make trouble, me, Grimlock, crush you.
Grimlock, we need your brilliant help.
Me, Swoop, want to hear brilliant part.
Preventing senseless barbaric murder, Swoop saves the humans in time.
No care about Autobots. Me, Grimlock, Dinobot.
if you don't help, the Decepticons will get all the Cybertonium they need.
Cybertonium? Cybertron. Okay, us do it.
Wow, that's all it took? Cool. At the space bridge, the Dinobots engage with the Constructicons in classic Season 1 fashion. A large shipment of Cybertonium hangs in the balance. As Devastator attempts to merge, Scavenger has his head in the clouds, much to the Dinobots' advantage. Transported to Cybertron, the Dinobots engage Shockwave. Briefly.
Stowaways, stand back!
We know stand back! Who called Grimlock on Cybertron?
Cybertron? You didn't have to go to Cybertron. You better get back while the space bridge is still open.
Grimlock, no come back. Dinobots never ever get back to bossy Autobots.
The mood swings on this guy. Sheesh.
On Cybertron.
Then we've got no choice. We've got to go to Cybertron and bring back more Cybertonium.
What?
And hopefully the Dinobots too.
But Optimus Prime will never agree to something that dangerous.
It's too risky.
And that settles that.
Hold up your thumb, Spike. Wheeljack supplied this two-way communication device. To keep in contact with me, all you have to do is talk into it.
Carly attempts to get past Devastator, who is still standing in the same spot, for reasons. This works. As we come to our cliffhanger, Spike and Carly face off with Shockwave, who is clearly playing with his own toy.
To be continued on tomorrow's The Transformers.
I say, that cliffhanger was so riveting it made me want to dress up like Shockwave and play with a Shockwave action figure. But don't let me get sidetracked. What I really want to talk about is how happy I am that they chose the word Cybertonium for the essential element that the Transformers are made of, and not say, several decades later make a live action movie and call it something really stupid like Transformium. And now let's talk a little bit more about the Dinobots. In the early 2000s, the Dinobots would get Walmart exclusive figures, retooled from Beast Wars toys that shared their original dinosaur modes. They would even go on to become reoccurring characters in many of the new comic series from the new millennia. It was here that the team would become known as the Lightning Strike Coalition, created on Cybertron and called Dinobots with a Y. Most versions of the Dinobots have gone the Marvel route of having them be native to Cybertron, as opposed to having them been born on Earth, like in the G1 cartoon. The major exception being Transformers Animated, where the Dinobots were amusement park attractions brought to life by fragments from the Allspark.
You named him Snarl?
Well, I was gonna call him Slag, but I think he took it as an insult.
In the Fall of Cybertron video game, They were known as the Lightning Strike Coalition Force, captured and experimented on by Shockwave. They were given Earth dinosaur transformations, which he learned of through Space Bridge technology. This game was also the first time the name Slug was used, starting an ongoing trend for all figures to this date. With the Power of the Primes Combiner Wars line came the first new Dinobots depicting the original team together as they originally appeared since their debut in G1, including a G1 female version of Raptor Slash. This would also be the first ever set of Dinobots to combine into Volcanicus, as they were seen doing in the Machinima series. This concept was first explored in the fan-made comic known as The Beast Within, where the Dinobots become a singular monstrosity that threatens heroes and villains alike. Transformers Cyberverse gave us a kinder, gentler Grimlock, who went on to inspire a group of young warriors whose colony was destroyed by evil mercenaries. Taking after their hero, they joined Grimlock to become the Dinobots. With a female Swoop on the team, this group would also learn to combine into the mighty giant Volcanicus, helping in the fight to save Cybertron once and for all. 2024 saw the completion of the 86 Studio Series Dinobots set, with 2 recolors of Grimlock already available, one in his Marvel comic colors, and a second in his Generation 2 colors. Oh, and did I mention this exists? My god, it may never end. Long live the Dinobots. We now return to Sports Car vs. Decepticon. Decepticon wins.
That was my car, not an Autobot! Decepticreep!
Switching over to Frankenstein mode, Shockwave fails to open fire again when he should, and chases them very, very slowly. Thanks to implausible bad aim, our heroes escape.
Miserable glitches!
You know what we're in?
Trouble?
No, I think we're inside their master computer.
And with that, Spike reaches out to his dad to borrow money.
Spike calling Teletran 1.
Spike, this is your dad at Autobot headquarters.
Boy, am I glad to hear you.
Devo's in town this weekend, Dad. It'd be really cool if you could hook me up with some cash for tickets.
Inside the master computer.
I see you now.
You can? How?
Teletran is constructing a simulated picture of you. You're inside the computer
that runs most of what is still functioning up there. You should be able to see the computer's power source at the bottom of the room.
Maybe if I can tie into the computer, we can control the space bridge from here.
Sure, why not?
Hey, wait!
Losing her footing, Carly finds herself in a perilous situation. Conveniently, things happen.
Carly?
Yeah?
You all right?
I'm okay, I guess. Hey, what's that?
It's my photon light. Wheeljack gave it to me. Brighter than any flashlight on Earth. Can you stand up?
Sure, can you stop shining that fucking thing in my face?
Oh!
What's wrong?
I must have twisted my ankle.
In order to complicate the plot, Carly goes full wet blanket.
There.
Spike, no! Now how are we going to get out?
In a bold act of chivalry, Spike proves to be a dumbass.
Spike, Teletran says there's a way out at the bottom of the room.
Sure enough, there's a ladder here.
Yes, right in front of you.
Where did these energon cubes come from? I thought the planet was all out of energy.
Shockwave, transmit the Cybertonium. I can't. The space bridge is non-functional until the computer is repaired. And what of the humans? They managed to escape, Megatron.
Find them before they reach the Cybertonium supplies, or I'll have you reprogrammed to do maintenance.
As Megatron expresses his disappointment, Shockwave decides it's time to up his security game.
What's that?
I don't want to find out.
Come on.
Where do we go from here, Dad?
Wheeljack's old laboratory is nearby.
And there's a small supply of Cybertonium stored there.
Spike sees a chance to cop a feel.
Hey, what's the idea?
Look, we don't have time for you to hobble along. I'm not gonna leave you here.
No time to be a prude. You don't want to be like Gen Z reacting to The Empire Strikes Back.
Get over yourself. Why is he holding her finger? Why is he rubbing her finger?
If World War III happens, we are so fucked. And now back to our heroes, who will eventually bone as Mother Nature demands.
It's incredible. How could they have ever left this?
Yes, why would they leave this cold, dead, dark world where they would have starved to a point of being eternally catatonic? Once inside Wheeljack's lab, Spike searches for the Cybertonium.
Cybertonium.
Wheeljack is too weak to tell me.
Once again proving he can hold and fire weapons twice his size and 10 times his own weight, Spike braces for attack, as we brace ourselves for more tantalizing toy ads.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Autobots are always on their guard. In the air, there's the giant Jetfire, heavily armored and daring in battle. Patrolling the jungle, the ferocious Dinobots, a brave prehistoric breed. The Dinobots and Jetfire are ready for anything. Robots in disguise from Hasbro.
We now return to the Transformers.
Carly, help!
Failing to make his presence known earlier, or simply entering through the door, we return to Swoop being needlessly shot by his friends.
No, shoot!
Swoop!
Through the power of a narrative flashback, Swoop brings us all up to speed.
When us Dinobots come, us capture Decepticon, guards come, big fight. Soon other Dinobots captured, but me get away. Other Dinobots taken to Cybertonium pits. Decepticons still look for Swoop.
Can Teletran 1 lead us to the Cybertonium pits?
Sure can. Stand by for instructions.
And with that, Sparkplug and Teletran 1 accidentally create Google Maps.
Carly, your ankle. You're not limping.
I think it's better.
I detect bullshit. Utilizing Cybertron's abandoned mass transit system, our heroes are on their way.
Are we there?
Where's there?
Roger, Houston. This is Spike.
Shut up, Spike.
What's happening?
Look!
Well, I guess we're walking the rest of the way. Wow! I'll bet you these were the primitive ancestors of the Autobots. They've sure evolved a lot over the eons.
Searching on, our heroes face medieval booby traps, resulting in severe damage to Swoop's wing.
Must have triggered switch.
Then let's not trigger anymore.
Well, how do we set that one off?
I don't know.
Then how are we supposed to avoid them?
Maybe stop being a dumbass.
I think we set off another one.
As the walls close in, Swoop offers a solution that would make Princess Leia and Han Solo blush.
Missiles hit the deck!
That was too close.
Here come some more!
No! Same missiles! Heat-seeking missiles! They not give up! Me, Swoop, do fancy flying now!
With Swoop's wing broken and heat-seeking missiles launched, our heroes are completely screwed.
Can't fly!
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Optimus Prime is under attack. He needs the greatest Transformers ever.
Optimus, we're here as pretenders.
Jazz, Bumblebee, you're back. And me, Grimlock.
And the evil Starscream is here too.
Beyond anything you've ever seen before. Transformer Classic Pretenders.
The greats are here as Pretenders, Classic Pretender Transformers, Jazz, Bumblebee, Starscream, and Grimlock.
Me, Grimlock, attack! Transformers!
We now return to the Transformers.
Almost forgot! Me, Swoop, can transform!
We now return to Swoop, realizing everything was fine the whole time. Hey, that wrapped up nicely.
I'm not sure, but I think this is a viewing room. And this is a viewer.
Stumbling upon historical records, our heroes decide it's time to Netflix and chill. This part is cool, let's watch. Hey, I remember Laserdiscs. It's the best way to watch the original Star Wars movies.
Why is he holding her finger? Why is he rubbing her finger?
Quiet, you. Seriously though, let's watch.
It's showtime!
Millions of years ago, Cybertron was a planet of peace. Until the Decepticons, lusting for power, began a terrible war, not designed for combat. The Autobots were overwhelmed and subjugated by their evil opponents. While many Autobots fled Cybertron, a few valiant survivors devised new tactics and launched a counteroffensive on their arch foes. And thus began a terrible series of wars. Many times, both sides have claimed victory. But this has been short-lived, for the Autobots have overthrown Decepticon tyrants. And likewise, Decepticon treachery has toppled many a peaceful Autobot ruler. And to this day, the war rages on.
We not know that before.
As security sentinels arrive, movie night comes to a disappointing close. Once in the Cybertonium pits, our heroes are reunited with the rest of the Dinobots.
Look, why don't you transform and we'll break out of here?
Me, Grimlock, cannot transform. Me, Snarl, can't either. No, want to leave.
Us work for Decepticons.
Unleashing her inner girl boss powers, Carly comes to the aid of the Dinobot prisoners.
Me want to thank Carly for fixing Dinobots. Me Sludge, thank you too.
Me thank you too.
Too.
Me Grimlock, guess helping others okay.
Taking a page from Captain Kirk, our heroes stage a subterfuge in order to escape.
Me hate you!
Well, I'm not nuts about you either!
Keep working down there!
Dinobot no work with human!
What?
After checking his own high score on Qbert, Sparkplug decides it's time to check in on his son.
Spike, do you read me? We've linked into the Decepticon computer and reset the space bridge to open near Autobot headquarters. This is your only chance to escape. Hurry!
The Cybertonium is ready for shipment, Megatron, but I have lost control of the space bridge destination.
Overpowering Shockwave, our heroes make a break for the space bridge, already loaded up with enough Cybertonium to save the Autobots. How nice! After having his wing completely destroyed, Swoop soldiers on like a true gangster. Oh look, the space bridge is now conveniently outside the Autobot headquarters. Oh fuck it, whatever, we're almost done.
Spike, Carly, we owe you our lives. And to show our appreciation, we'd like to make you honorary Autobots.
Dude, I want to get a medal from the Autobots.
Thanks, Optimus. It's a real honor. And thanks, Spike. It was fun.
Get it, Spike. You're in.
And as for you, Dinobots, excellent job.
Even though Dinobots not like it,
We take orders from you now. Until next time, me Grimlock no feel like it.
And with that, the Dinobots accidentally invent silent quitting. And that, my friends, was the desertion of the Dinobots. Now, on a serious note, I do need to acknowledge an eagle-eyed viewer that caught a mistake that I made in the last episode. And this is one that I really should not have made. I thought I hit it out of the park with this joke.
How dare they interfere?
Much to Burger's chagrin, the Autobots fight to save the day. This is accomplished through the use of a flying Camaro. The 80s were a magical time. Lots of cocaine. Trax is a Corvette. I have failed you. Now, is that going to stop me from ripping on this episode and everything that they've done wrong? Oh, good God, no. Let's get into it.
Very impressive, Professor Green.
The Autobots have saved this planet from the Decepticons many times. Now we might be able to return the favor.
Let me ask you a question. How is a remote control plane going to end millions of years of war with the Decepticons? I rest my case. How did Soundwave get here? Did Ironhide not feel him placed against him? Did Blaster not see him at point-blank range? Can he not see when he's a tape deck? He sees Ravage and has coordination enough to grab him by the tail. This is silly. This is all very, very silly.
I'll blast it to dust!
No! We must be more discreet.
Okay, but just how discreet can you be now that Soundwave and Ravage have been spotted and you're all standing in full view of the Autobots? Why does Ironhide take so long to react to other Transformers being inside of him? And yes, I do realize what I just said.
We're just work friends.
Work friends? You've been inside me.
The Autobots are looking at the experimental aircraft, but don't notice Starscream flying directly above it.
No! Well, they're distracted!
This plan was elaborate and stupid. The aircraft has nothing to do with the rest of this episode.
Surrender the final blueprints and we will not hurt you.
What are these plans Megatron wants for? Do we ever learn? I don't think so.
Hey, I thought Megatron split. Amazing what you can do with a little hologram.
In 1 out of 3 episodes, and just pretend like it's the first time it ever happened, even though it's not. Wow, what amazing parking. And historically, this airport is known for its open door policy towards giant alien robots. Right up until the Patriot Act. What the hell is Megatron's plan? Is all of this just filler? I'm starting to think this is all just filler. Slag's head changes color, as it is often known to do.
We must return to the lab and destroy those plans!
Plans to what, Megatron? I'm dying to know. Dish, girlfriend.
So much for your secret hideout, Megatron!
Let's watch that again in slow motion, and you tell me how many things you find wrong with it.
So much for your secret hideout, Megatron!
This scene began with Spike and Bumblebee arriving at the airport with the Dinobots, but after Grimlock throws Megatron through the window, we see Spike and Carly from several hours earlier when they came to the airport to pick up Sparkplug. At this time, I'd like to remind you, this episode has no time travel in it. And now, Carly is outside along with Sparkplug in his Sunday best. How do the humans survive this? I hope they don't take any back roads or stop for drive-thru. Megatron is missing his Decepticon insignia. Watch the Autobots coming around the corner. If only they had basic digital tools to do things like this.
I never miss at this range.
But you are painted the wrong color. Blitzwing's head is the wrong color.
To keep in contact with me, all you have to do is talk into it.
I feel kind of stupid talking into my thumb.
Really? You feel kind of stupid about that. The Dinobots were built on Earth and therefore have no Cybertonium. However, in the first season, we also learned that Constructicons were built on Earth. Therefore, they should have no Cybertonium in them. However, going forward, the retcon will tell us that the Constructicons were in fact built on Cybertron. So, my question is Devastator incapacitated or not? And if he's not incapacitated, why is he still standing guard here? Why has he not brought this Cybertonium back to the Decepticons yet? And if he is incapacitated, why does he have the coordination to defend the space bridge? Shockwave is holding Shockwave in Shockwave's hand. Let that sink in for a minute. How does this blast disintegrate the entire car, everything inside including the trunk and glove compartment, but not Spike and Carly? How can a super logical robot who turns into a gun and has a gun for an arm be so terrible while shooting at point-blank range?
Hey, what's that?
It's my photon light. Wheeljack gave it to me. Brighter than any flashlight on Earth.
Just say flashlight. Also, how does a woman who's been accepted into MIT not know what a fucking flashlight is?
Oh!
What's wrong?
I must have twisted my ankle.
How exactly?
Where did these energon cubes come from? I thought the planet was all out of energy.
This setup has zero payoff.
What's that?
My guess would be a robot. Why is Spike so far from the gun he was just holding? If all that fell on top of him while he was holding it, he'd be dead right now. Too bad. Swoop is narrating the story he's in, while he's actually in the story. My brain hurts.
Carly, your ankle. You're not limping.
I think it's better.
I still call bullshit.
Everything is so huge.
There's a really easy dirty joke in here somewhere. I'm just too damn mature to make it. These two aren't wearing seatbelts right now. They should be dead. This is a booby trap partially built with wood on Cybertron. The damage to Swoop's wing comes and goes from shot to shot. In all seriousness, how did Sparkplug build this entire ring for the space bridge by himself so fast? Exactly. Why didn't Shockwave just program one of these robots to use the space bridge and send him to Earth so he can bring the Cybertonium to Megatron himself and then have them bring him back to Cybertron? And if that never happened, what happened to the Decepticons? Is the war over? Did we ever learn what Megatron's plan really was? Should we maybe all just go outside and get a little exercise right now and move on with our lives? Yeah, that might be it. I'll see you in the next episode. Alright, so since I put that last bit together, I realized that Megatron does say the fighter plans, and I think he's referring to the experimental fighter jet we see at the beginning of the episode. But he's already destroyed that, so what does he care? And he's not going to build his own, and if the Autobots build another with the humans, he'll just destroy it again. And why the fuck does he have a secret base out in the open in broad daylight at the airport of all places? At this time of year? Exactly. However, it doesn't stop me from loving Transformers as much as I do, so I will definitely be back here for the next episode, which is Blaster Blues, another great episode. I hope you all like Cosmos, because he's going to be our next Spotlight character, and please like, share, and subscribe, because I love when you do that, and I do hope to see you back here for the next episode. Thank you for watching.
I didn't become a little bit of a slag. I became a total slag.
How dare you?
Excuse me!